For years, my life was lived in fast forward. Deadlines, meetings, children's schedules, family responsibilities. For most of my life, I was always on the go. There was always something to do, someone to take care of, a deadline to meet, a responsibility that couldn't wait. I hardly paused to ask myself whether I was living or simply moving forward, propelled by duty and habit. Years in the corporate world had taught me to measure my days in hours and tasks, in meetings and targets. Raising children demanded a rhythm of its own, one where my energy was poured into making sure little lives thrived, grew, and felt safe. And, of course, family life meant endless to-do list, meals, chores, family events, vacations planned and taken, but never fully savored, because even rest felt like another task to organize. I don't regret those years. In fact, I carry them with me like chapters of a long book. The long nights with sick children, the boardroom presentations where I proved to myself I could stand tall, the laughter around the dinner table after a long work day. Those moments shaped me. They made me who I am, but they also left me depleted, like I had poured every ounce of myself outward, leaving little left inside. I forgot how to simply be. And now I've reached a point in life where my heart whispers a different message. Slow down, breathe, take it all in. The realization came slowly, a moment after moment, but I can point one particular moment that made me pause. A few years ago, one morning, I sat down with my coffee, looking at my garden, and I felt at peace. I didn't want to check my phone for texts. I didn't feel like scrolling through Facebook or Instagram looking for posts. I felt absolutely content just sitting there, looking at my garden, listening to the birds singing. My heart felt light. My brain could not produce a single thought, and still I was at peace. The sun was rising, painting the sky in shades of pink. The house was quiet. For the first time in a long time, I didn't rush. I just sat there, watching the light change, grateful for the stillness, in awe of the harmony. My feelings and thoughts flowing with nature, as if everything had fallen into perfect alignment. And then something shifted. I felt the whisper inside me, a soft voice saying, "Slow down, look around. This is your life, not a race." It hit me then, how many of these moments had I missed over the years because I was always rushing? How many sunsets had I ignored because I was still answering emails? How many meals had I cooked and served without really tasting them because I was already thinking about what came next. I realized that my life had been lived in fast forward. I realized I want to live in the moment, to feel, to breathe, to be. Slowing down isn't easy when the body and soul have grown accustomed to the speed of survival. I still feel guilty for taking time for myself or choosing myself. But I am beginning to understand, to care for my spirit, to love, to cherish my friendships. It is not selfishness and luxury, it is necessity. Recently, for the first time, I allowed myself a small escape. With a dear friend, we slipped away to a humble cottage for a few days. Nothing fancy, only the beauty of simplicity. Away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Like reading from an old book, I turned the pages slowly, gently, absorbing all of the nature splendor and savoring every moment. A few days that felt like an eternity, because time seems to slow down at the cottage country. That weekend, I embraced a slower rhythm. We woke up early to watch the sunrise over the water. We laughed like girls again. We were simply ourselves. We cooked simple meals, fresh bread, salads thrown together with whatever we had. They tasted better than any fancy dinner because we ate them slowly, with gratitude, with conversations flowing long into the night. Every bite savored, every laugh shared. This is the life worth living. We hiked along rivers, letting the sound of water soothe us. The trees whispered secrets only silence can hear. We explored little towns where history lingered in the air. We ended the days watching the sun melt into the horizon, soaking it in, as if memorizing the colors with our hearts. It was a reminder. Joy doesn't need to be complicated. Peace doesn't have to be earned through exhaustion. Sometimes all it takes is saying yes to the invitation to be present. In the years of raising children and working full-time, friendships often become background noise. They were there, waiting, but they weren't always nurtured. Life was too full, too demanding. But as I've slowed down, I've rediscovered the joy of connecting with friends. There is something healing about sitting across from someone who has known you for decades, who has seen your struggles and triumphs, and simply laughing until you hurt. There is something grounding about walking side by side down a wooden trail, not needing to fill every silence because the present alone is enough. Spending time with friends reminds me that fun isn't just for youth. Laughter isn't a luxury, it is a medicine. And nurturing these relationships is part of nurturing myself. Friendship is one of life's simplest, deepest gifts. The more I slow down, the more I notice the little things I used to overlook. A bird singing in the garden, the smell of fresh herbs, the crackling of fire on a cool evening, the texture of warm bread broken by hand, the taste and smell of hand-picked vegetables from my garden, the heavenly scent of freshly baked cookies. These are the moments that stitch together a life well lived. And when I pause long enough to notice them, I feel a surge of gratitude. Gratitude that I'm here, in this moment, able to savor it. Gratitude for the people who walk beside me. Gratitude even for the years of busyness that now make these moments feel so precious. I am learning that gratitude isn't just about listing what I'm thankful for. It's about feeling it in the moment. It's about slowing down enough to let joy sink in deeply before taking the next step. For so long, my measure of success was external: career achievements, financial stability, family milestones. And while all of those matter, I am redefining success for myself now. Success to me is having time to linger over a meal with a friend. It's being able to hike along a river and stop to dip my toes in the water without worrying about the schedule. It's standing still long enough to watch both the sunset and the sunrise in the same day. I realize now success is time. Time to linger, time to notice, time to be grateful. If I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it would be this: you don't always need to rush. You don't need to carry the world on your shoulders every day. Take time to enjoy what you're working so hard for. But I don't dwell on regrets. Instead, I carry this wisdom forward. Every day, I try to remind myself: slow down, notice, be grateful, laugh more, breathe deeper. Life doesn't have to be a race. I still have responsibilities, of course. Life doesn't suddenly empty itself of work or family needs. But my relationship with time has changed. I give myself permission to rest, to say no, to prioritize what brings me joy. I carve out time for friends, for laughter, for simple adventures. I embrace quiet mornings and peaceful evenings. I allow myself to feel gratitude not just in fleeting moments, but as a steady rhythm in my days. And most importantly, I've learned to see slowing down not as a loss, but as a gift. Because in slowing down, I'm finally living. As I sit here and think back on my journey, I realize that I'm not just telling a story about myself. I'm offering a reminder, maybe even an invitation, to anyone who feels caught up in the endless cycle of doing and achieving. Pause, look around, taste your coffee slowly, watch the suns rise, call a friend, take a walk. You don't need to wait for the perfect time to slow down. That time is now. Because one day, when we look back, it won't be the emails answered or the errands run that you will remember. It will be the laughter shared with people you love, the stillness of a sunrise, the taste of a simple meal, the feeling of gratitude that swelled quietly in our hearts. And that, I think, is the true measure of life well lived.